Today I'm working on a 2019 Ram 1500 5.7 Hemi with the mild hybrid. I am going to be changing out the front differential gear oil. This truck has 103,000 miles on it, so the owner just wanted to go through, change out the fluids, and make sure everything was good. There's a skid plate that goes right under the front diff, so I've already pulled that off. There's just 4 16mm bolts for that. So that's the only thing I've done to prep here. So next we're gonna get into draining out the oil. Okay, so I've got everything ready to go here. I've got my Harbor Freight hand pump here, about $7 at Harbor Freight. It will pump about a quart in 8 pumps, which is a lot better than those little ones that go in the top of the canister and just like a hand soap pump. Those things, if you've ever done that, you know, like 70,000 pumps to do a quart is no fun, especially with gear oil. So this one I found to work a lot better. Still hard to pump gear oil, but not nearly as bad as the little guys. So on this front diff, the manual specs out 75W85 GL5 synthetic. So that is exactly what we're going to be running. Both the drain and the fill are 8mm. So we're going to crack loose our fill plug first, and we're going to roll our drain pan underneath just in case anything comes out the fill, and that looks good. We'll set that plug aside, and we'll scoot that out of the way momentarily. We'll crack the drain plug loose. 103,000 miles on this, not heavy use. We'll see what this looks like. All right, it pretty much looks brand new. So you could maybe say it was a waste to do this, but it's never bad just to make sure. You don't know if there's possibly some condensation in here or anything like that. So money well spent, pretty inexpensive to do a simple drain and refill on the front diff. So we're going to let this finish draining. We're going to put the drain plug back in, and then we'll start filling it up. Okay, so we've got the drain plug back in. We've got our fill line here, which is not going in very far. We're going to see how this goes. Sometimes you can make a mess in a hurry. It might fly out of there. Who knows? If I had another hand, I could hold it in there while I was doing this, but we're just going to ease into it, not put too much pressure on the pump here, and see how it goes. Okay, I think we've hit our full point. So we will get this fill plug back in here. I'll get it snugged down, and I'm going to look up the torque specs. I didn't do that ahead of time. I'll look that up and get these 2 plugs both torqued down to spec, and we should be good to go. All right, torque specs are 13 foot-pounds for the drain and the fill. So we'll start out. And 13 is not a lot, so if you're not using a torque wrench, it is really not tight. But I would definitely recommend using a torque wrench and torquing it to spec. So we've got that done. So now the last thing to do is going to be to put the belly pan back up. We'll get the belly pan lined up. Bolts in. All right, and there we go. As you can see, technically you could probably do this job without pulling the skid plate down, but especially for the video, but really for any case, it seems well worth pulling the 4 bolts out to get a little bit better access and to not make a mess while you're draining it out. There is a hole here that presumably would be a drain hole if you just started dumping fluid onto it, but there again, it's always going to be less mess if you just go straight into a pan.